Hello guys, Ben here, and welcome to a series for the learning group here on chess.com. And how do I get this? Let's do it like this. That way you don't see the computer eval. Well, anyway, so this first series is going to be an analysis/showcase series where I'll analyze/showcase games that I get submitted from the group. I'm going to try and limit my own games in this, but for the first one we're going to do what I think is the best game I've ever played. So it starts with the move e4, and we're actually going to pause that just so that you guys can't get any help for this. I just like this move. It does a lot of good things. Now, I'm unfortunately not able to use controls and all that. Maybe if I did it here on the live chess. Yeah, I'll probably do it there. That way you can see it. But I played the King's Gambit, and the idea is I'm going to want to play d4 eventually. I want to get rapid development and kind of just start a very quick attack. My opponent played the Falkbeer counter. It's a good solid move. It's probably best, to be quite honest. It's either that or accepts d5. So I take, and then my opponent plays something very strange. Now, like in most King's Gambits, you don't ever play this move. Unless you're castled, then maybe you could play it. So here I thought, okay, what's stopping me from playing this? And of course my opponent plays the logical here, forcing me like this. And this is kind of like the Elephant Gambit here. My opponent defends the pawn. I do this. He castles, expecting me fully to play this, because I no longer had that pin. So he plays this, here, here, here. And this was kind of, I had actually seen this position when I played when I played knight c3, and I expected him to play this, and therefore I played my next move, this amazing one, d4. And the position I had imagined, and just for the record, he played bishop d6, but the position I had imagined came from here, and, you know, I mean, and then gets a little complicated. Probably play this. If he then were to play, say, this, trying to give back the piece, I may be able to wrangle something. And the game is more or less equal, but really the idea is I just really like this center. My opponent played here, kind of negating that, so I play the best move. And when I say the best move, it's kind of hard to resist getting this battery, and it's actually a forced mate if he were to accept, which he didn't accept. Crap. Let me delete that move. Sorry. He played this. However, if he accepts, which looks good, don't get me wrong. I'm trying to remember exactly why this move doesn't work, but King h8. Here we go. Here, that's checkmate. Trying to remember exactly why king here is a bad idea. Oh yeah, Because if he goes here, then don't I have this? We'll give him benefit of that and check it like this. Does he go here? And then I take, and I still got a raging attack. So after here, why does this not work again? Similar reasons, or would be drawing him out. No. Go back to this, and well, I could go here, but I think that just runs into issues where, yeah, he's kind of going in retreat, and guess what? I still got a raging attack. So G6 is probably best. Or, well, it is best. So, what do? A castle. After he plays here, what's the move? I'm trying to remember what the move is. Well, I'm going to delete this move because that wasn't what was played. Oh, he took. So therefore I took. But I'm trying to remember what happens here. So I'm actually going to turn the analysis on. Yeah, and see, it still says I have a pretty sizable advantage with Queen F3, which was probably what I would have played. He takes here. Bishop F8, and yeah, I was going to say Bishop takes F5. I've got a sizable advantage. So, anyway, instead he took it. And my opponent now played Bishop F5, which is, you know, a little bit worse. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys, 5-10 seconds to see what move I played. Now, to give you a hint, it's related to my opponent's lack of king safety. Which was kind of the whole concept behind this. Coaxing F6, coaxing G6. Coaxing him to take. Okay, I think I've given you guys enough time. Yes, I actually turned my knight sack into a full rook sack. Or I think it's... Oh, it is down a full rook at this point. So my opponent, he played here. Now, there are two moves here. Now, I'm going to let you guys look at the position. There is the human move, and then there's the computer move. And I want to let you see if you can find both. I'll give you another 10 seconds. It has to do with the fact that I don't want to trade queens, and I also want to continue attacking the king. I don't want to gain my material back, though that's probably at least somewhat playable. Probably not best, though. Now, the human move actually has a very clever idea behind it, but again, it's the human move, it's not the computer move, which the computer move definitely doesn't look natural. Well, I think I've given you guys enough time. I played the human move, E6, which forced queen here, which there's really nothing else. Now, the computer move is queen G5. And the idea is different. I'm trying to remember exactly what the idea was. I think this was it, because the queen has to defend both, but can't. And if here, well, that just lose. Yeah, I think this was the exact idea. And if here you're kicking the king around a healthy amount, and now the king has to move, and then you get the fork. And your attack still continues. However, I couldn't calculate all this in game simply because it's a super complicated measure. And as a matter of fact, that's the move that gets played. And yeah, let's just say it's definitely not pretty. Matter of fact, I think this is also a forced mate. Maybe? Well, that does force him to here, where I go here, 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 and that's actually mate, yeah. So, instead I played the human move, which I honestly think is a little bit prettier than the game continuation. And like I said, Queen G6 gets forced, and I'm going to let you see if you found the follow-up in 10 seconds. And the only reason why E6 works is because of this follow-up, and it's kind of the reason why I played E6 instead of the more technically sound Queen G5. Which, admittedly, I probably should have played Queen G5, as it's not terrible, but I don't know, this is more beautiful. Anyway, I think I've given you guys enough time. Bishop H6. And this is kind of like the empty... I'm trying to think of the exact name for this tactic, but the idea is it's luring the queen away. It's a deflection tactic, but it's also a empty square sacrifice, where you move your piece to an empty square where it can be taken. You don't take anything in return for it. It's just, and these are kind of, aesthetically pleasing ones. And, for some, and here's another thing, I actually like my knights as my pieces, yet, as you can clearly see, I've given both of my knights up. Anyway, so it's kind of forced that you take. If you don't take it, lose the queen there, lose the queen there. Lose it there, lose it there, lose it there, lose it there, lose it there. Lose it there. Out of play here. Lose it here. You're getting checkmated here, and you're also getting checkmated here. If you play here, I'm trying to remember exactly what happens, but I think you survive. So it's kind of hard to decline the sacrifice. Let me go ahead and look here. And by the way, he did accept the sacrifice. I probably would have played this. If the king goes here... Honestly, I'm kind of finding it hard to believe that there's anything that just playing rook f1 doesn't just win. Black... It looks like black's just having to give up a lot of material in order to not have it happen, because let's make a silly move. Just to show you how hard it is to stop this threat, because of course now it's a checkmate threat. So of course you kind of... not only is it a checkmate threat, main checkmate threat is here, so if you wanted to try and key in, and checkmate isn't inevitable if you make a silly move. So again, it's probably best to just play to take it. And it allows this, and in game I was actually able to calculate out that what my opponent did was not the best move, instead what was best was playing here, but my opponent played here. And the reason why it's best to play this is because it's a little difficult to actually play, you know, to continue the attack. I think best is h3 after, well, you could actually probably get away with playing knight here. I think part of the idea is you're going to try and, if you go there, yeah, I think rook f1, it's one of those moves where it's like, it's hard to argue better, but you still have an advantage. And after this, if I played here, 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 here. I think with my 7 pawns to his 3, I think I'd be able to win this game, but it's definitely a long ways out. So I kind of gave up winning. I kind of gave up a continuous checkmating attack in order for a 1 endgame because I could calculate it easier. So instead he played queen f8. And it's kind of fairly easy. Play, you know, queen h5. Is, you know, it's a checkmate threat. Queen e7 might have been better, but it runs into the same move that queen g7 does, and that's rook f1. Bringing it into the game. Sorry about the unprofessionalism. Sorry about that. And my opponent just basically threw in the towel with this move. So I played rook f7, which was the natural continuation. After 23 king h1, he resigned. My opponent, it's kind of hard to find a move. And, you know, it's, like I said, it's hard to defend. Probably best is just throwing all your pieces away, and at this point you can't throw any more away. And there we go, I win. So if we actually turn the computer on, it starts realizing that, you know, I didn't play too terribly. As you can see, it actually shows that I have a slight advantage here, which is kind of interesting in my opinion. After f6, d4. It actually doesn't like f takes e5 as much as I thought it did. It's not that terrible for me. However, I would have preferred it if I had taken it with this pawn instead of d takes, but whatever. Instead he played this, which kind of tells me, okay, I have an advantage here. So I play this, g6, and I'm actually going to show you why f takes is so bad. Look at that evaluation. Queen takes, just the best. And it can't decide king f8 or king f7. Okay, so obviously But going back to the g6 move, I mean, I still have the advantage. Actually says knight d7. Why does bishop? Yeah. Well, we already looked at bishop f5. Instead, he played this, so I took it. Now, one time when I looked at this, it said that bishop f5 was best. But obviously, that's not exactly the case. Because all of a sudden, the evaluation jumps a lot. So, obviously, you take that, you take that, you take that. Queen d7. And now, it's actually saying I should win back my material. Or queen h5. Queen g5 is another computer move. I'm actually surprised queen h5. Nope, now it goes to queen g5. See, I told you it was a computer move. It just takes a while for the computer to determine, yeah, it's best. Instead, I play the human move, which, you know, slightly reduces my evaluation. And, of course, the idea of this is this. Now, it says, you know, you really do need to... Now, of course, the computer at first says throw in the bishop check, but now it's saying that's stupid. And it says rook f8 is best. Perhaps. Instead accepting it, so of course queen f7. I mean, you only have one move. Queen takes. Instead he plays that. Now of course I reply correctly after queen there. Rook f1 is best, and after knight a6, fate actually finds a mate in 8. Which starts with rook f7. Now I was able to calculate it because it's super simple. That actually dropped it down to him. Well. And of course, like I said, the game ended when I played king h1 because he didn't want to throw all his pieces away. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.